Audrey Williams, and this is Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for joining us. Inside the pages today, more from the country's top cop. Police Commissioner Owen Ellington is back for another discussion on issues and answers. Plus, using technology in agriculture. We'll show you one of the latest gadgets in the field. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show.
We are men with a message, and the youth them need to hear this.
We know everything about thug life.
Been there, done that.
Prison and a nice place, stay in school.
Serious thing I tell you.
And a joke thing this. You can't tell me about hungry.
That's no excuse. Leave the badness alone.
Nobody narrate you.
Them just afraid of you. Live positive, remember. A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Last week, Police Commissioner Owen Ellington sat down with us to talk about the fight against crime, the gains made and the strategies being employed. The police chief is back with us this week, focusing on legislation, reform of the police force and the collaboration with the Independent Commission of Investigations. The discussion begins now on issues and answers.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Bourne. We continue on the issue of national security. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Owen Ellington, is back with us. Last week we spoke about a number of important issues having to do with the subject, and we continue our discussion. We thank you for your company. Commissioner, good to have you back again. How important is what is called the anti-gang legislation that is before Parliament now? What are the important aspects of this legislation? Why does the police force need this law to be passed?
Jamaica faces a serious problem with violent crimes. We are among the top 4 most murderous countries on earth. We have the second highest rate of gun killings in the world. We do not manufacture guns in Jamaica. The police force recovers from criminals in excess of 600 illegal guns per year. Last year we went close to 800. It was a record year. 80% of murders in Jamaica are committed with the use of illegal guns. 80% of murders and other violent crimes are committed by criminal gangs. Criminal gangs in Jamaica are now transforming the country into a lucrative market for small arms and light weapons traffickers. So Jamaica is facing a serious security threat posed by gangs and organized crime. Our laws are designed to deal with single individual offenders. They are not designed to deal with group crimes, group offenders. Conspiracies alone cannot bring down gangs and organized crime. We must have legislations that look at organizations which are created to commit crime for profit on a sustainable basis, pretty much like racketeering laws. So even though the bill is referred to loosely as the anti-gang bill, it's not really a bill focusing on gangs. It's a bill focusing on organized crime in all its elements. The gangs, the facilitators, those who benefit from the proceeds of crime, those who launder money for crime, for criminals, all of those actors. So it confuses the discussion when we limit the situation to just dealing with gang. It is really a comprehensive set of legislation with companion legislation that can dismantle organized crime and ultimately make Jamaica a safer place and a society which is trusted by the international community, so that we can attract investment, grow the economy, and Jamaicans can enjoy a better quality of life. It's very important that we get this bit of legislation.
There are many citizens who say that what we should be focusing on as a country is the reform of the police force itself, is the corruption in the police force, is the abuse of human rights by the police force. That these are really the central issues, not anything about anti-gang legislation or tackling organized crime. What is the police force doing?
The police force is over-reformed. It has been reformed over and over since I've joined it, and it will be reformed again, unlike any other organization operating in an environment which is changing, there is always a need for reform.
What's the evidence of this?
The police force in recent years has completely revamped its recruitment, selection policies, training policies. We have several vetted units within the organization where people are screened in a very indulgent way, including polygraphing. The entire officer corps of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is a vetted body, individuals who have to write exams, subject themselves to screening, ethics interview, polygraph examination. No policeman can be considered for promotion by me unless he is fully compliant with the Anti-Corruption Commission, his filings, etc. And the training of officers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force is second to none in the region. The average deputy superintendent of police now has received far more advanced training than I got when I became commissioner of police, and we have seen to that. The police force has done a lot in terms of cleansing itself. As commissioner of police, I have the unenviable reputation of removing over 500 policemen from the force.
500?
Others before me have done it. Others after me will have work to do. But we are doing what is necessary to clean up the police force, to transform it. However, the fight against crime does not begin and end with the police force transformed or not.
Yes.
The fight against crime involves the entire criminal justice community, the entire population, and the goodwill of all well-thinking Jamaicans. I don't think we should continue to detain ourselves or restrain ourselves from supporting the good work of the police as we wait for the perfect police force. There is none to be found anywhere in the world, and we have to work with what we have. This police force has been consistent in responding to crime. It has been consistent in protecting the citizens. It has been consistent in investigating crimes. It has been consistent in prosecuting offenders, including its own when they offend. And therefore, what we are asking the public to do is to cooperate with us, and when they see us doing wrong, do not be afraid to report it. I am on record for saying that anytime I get a report of misconduct about any policeman, I act on it.
You act on it?
Unless I get a report, I can't do anything because I cannot act without facts.
So you're encouraging people to report?
I encourage people to report. I encourage my colleagues to report wrongdoing amongst the ranks. Every action that I take against a policeman, disciplinary action that is reviewed above my head. They go to the Privy Council, to the Governor General, they can go to the Supreme Court. So I must act properly. And for a commissioner to be able to remove 500 people from an organization and isn't spending all his days in court, it means that we take our time, we do what is right, we get it right, but we need public support.
Good. Yeah. A call for public support from the Commissioner of Police, and an appropriate call that you should reflect on as we take our first break.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint. An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals. And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
I needed help to expand my business, but the banks only wanted to be up in my business. The high interest rates were killing my business. They're never really business with my business.
At the Exim Bank, we have your business needs covered. Our application process is easy, and we provide loans at competitive rates for the productive sector. From renewable energy projects and working capital to plant upgrades or expansion and export financing. Come in and talk to us today. The Exim Bank. On the road to success, you are going to want us in your business.
We're talking national security. Commissioner of Police Owen Ellington is with us. Does the work of Indicom, does the statistics that it puts out support the view that our police is not largely just an indiscriminate killing force?
Ian, I am one person who have been on the records over and over telling the public that we support fully the work of Indicom. I think Indicom must succeed for the good of Jamaica. And I think Indicom must succeed for the benefit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Every matter which is being investigated by Indicom in relation to the police force, Indicom can be assured of the full support of the police, as long as they are doing what is right. The results of Indicom investigations up to now are showing that in the region of 80% of the matters that they investigated against the police, they find that the policemen acted properly and with justification.
80%
that, I think, is a better record than when those matters are being investigated by the BSI. Because the BSI's investigations would all go to the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling, and those rulings could take time. Indicom actually pronounces on its findings sometimes before referring the matters to the DPP. So within a shorter space of time, we are able to clear the names of policemen who may be under suspicion for indiscriminate use of force. Having said that, though, I am one of the first to admit that the rate of killings at the hands of the police in Jamaica is unacceptable. Unacceptable because a police force which is sworn to protect should not be killing so many people.
Yes.
But
this is our
reality.
Yes.
It's our reality. The police in Jamaica suffer 600 gun attacks from criminals each year. These are the same criminals that kill over 1,000 of our fellow citizens. We stand between the criminals and the decent law-abiding citizens of Jamaica who count on us for protection. We are always in the line of fire. We have a simple choice. It's to kill or be killed. And we beg our policemen every time, if there's any opportunity whatsoever to take an armed suspect without injury, exploit that opportunity. But when a man is out there in the heat of the moment and it's his life versus the life of a criminal attacker, I really don't get involved in what goes through his mind at that occasion.
What have you done as Commissioner to ensure that there's adequate sensitivity to human rights issues? What steps have you taken to
Every
ensure that?
training course conducted at the National Police College of Jamaica begins with a module on human rights and human dignity. Every briefing session, and briefings are done in every police station and formation at least twice per day, up to 3 times per day, begins with a briefing on the need to protect human rights and use of force standards. We put out in any given month over 30,000 short bulletins and messages through the police radio net and by emails to our members, reminding them of their obligation to safeguard the right to life. Every single policeman in the JCF has an official email address, which we have given to them, and we send them messages, reminders constantly about this. We have actually tried to get to a point of information saturation when it comes to the need to protect human rights by our members. But we have a reality. That reality is that 600 attacks against the police per year, almost 3,000 gun attacks against fellow citizens per year. We stand as that body of men and women who have to protect the citizens. We will have occasions when force is used.
Finally and briefly, how important is public support to the police?
It's too important. I'm glad I was in the JCF at the time when we had the Tivoli Gardens operation, and I'm honored to have been commissioner at the time. In fact, I made a vow when I took charge of the force that I would not leave that problem for another commissioner to resolve. For almost 30 years, the police never policed Tivoli Gardens, and that community had been transformed by a gang into a place of refuge for criminals, as a center of influence for serious violent crimes. And so when we went on that operation, having regard to previous occasions when the police tried to deal with that gang, what came out of those operations? Public condemnation. When we went in 2010, we went in with the full backing of the population. I've never felt that way before.
For justice.
I have never felt that way before. My colleagues who we discussed this thing with, they have never felt that way before, that they had the full support and approval of the population to deal with a crisis which had reached a level, an intolerable level, and had to be dealt with, pushed back with overwhelming force, the force of law. And so, as we continue the fight against gangs and organized crime, we count on the support of our publics. Our energy is drained when situations occur which outrages the public and make the public angry against us, towards us. Public support is crucial. Public trust is our greatest asset. And so we work every day towards building it. We are humans. We operate in a very, very uncertain environment. Mistakes will be made, but we always try to repair the mistakes and to regain that spot where the public can trust us and work with us hand in hand.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. National security is everyone's business. We thank the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Owen Ellington, for having spent the time with us. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
Motorists, know your rights as road users. If you're stopped by the police in a road check, the police have the right to ask for your driver's license and vehicle documents. If you don't have the documents on you, you can ask for 5 days to provide them at a convenient police station. If you don't have vehicle insurance, you can be prosecuted and face the court. If you fail to renew the registration license, the police are entitled to seize your vehicle. If the police wish to search your vehicle, they should tell you the reasonable grounds for wanting the search. If you are given a ticket, sign it only if you plan to pay the fine and not contest the charge in court. And please be reminded, children under 18 years must wear a seatbelt, even if they're seated in the back. Know your rights. Knowledge of the traffic road code makes it easier to work with the police as they do their job to make the road safer for you and everyone else.
2014 is being observed as the International Year of Family Farming. It's an excellent opportunity to promote the viability of the agriculture sector, which continues to experience growth. Indeed, agriculture has seen so much transformation over the last several years. Take the use of technology, for example. How about manning your field from a remote location? Watch this.
Technology has afforded us the opportunity of being in control without having direct physical contact with objects or certain mechanics, thus creating an ease and relaxed way of doing things. Now, this remote operating technology has been added to farming at the local level. In a technology-driven world, persons are finding more innovative ways to improve and simplify how we do things, as well as creating added benefits and increased profits for businesses. Such was the intention of engineering student at the University of the West Indies, UN Peter, when he designed and created this fully automated hydroponic greenhouse system. Renewable energy driven, the system is programmed to be operated by the use of a smartphone or the internet, facilitating a more efficient and effective approach to farming.
You don't have to be at the plants every day, right? At the greenhouse every day, because you have access to all information that you normally would go there to check for.
Information such as the nutrient levels, water, temperature and humidity, which in a typical greenhouse setting would require manual observation and control. But Peter's automated system controls all that activity, allowing farmers to maintain quality crops from just about anywhere in the world.
We control the nutrient concentration, such as your N, your nitrate, the phosphate and your potash, as well as pH and dissolved oxygen. We have a set limit that those parameters are supposed to be at. So once it exceeds those parameters that we set, you will automatically updated by your cell phone to let you know that something is wrong in your greenhouse. A nutrient is off. We can actually monitor this system remotely, via cell phone or over the internet.
The intelligent controlling is performed by what's called a programmable logic controller, PLC, that's microcontroller based. The PLC is used to activate the input and output processes of the greenhouse hydroponic system. Head of UA's Engineering Department and UN Supervisor Dr. Paul Aking explains.
everything that feeds the nutrients and the sensors and the valves and everything that requires some on-off or some amount of control, all of that is computerized. And it goes into the computer and it stores as special signals. And the commands are stored as special signals. What we do now, we send those signals via the internet, via the SMS, via something like your texting, and then we can see what it is, and we can send both ways. It's bidirectional.
The application won first place for the open category in the 2013 Ministers' Innovation Award developed by the Science and Technology Ministry.
It's an ICT control, meaning that the Internet Protocol login, monitoring and control system of an agricultural process that everyone knows about. No one was aware that you could control these things so remotely, and it really blew the judges away.
Judges were also impressed by the system's ability to efficiently produce its own supply of energy while providing a sustainable means for food security and food production.
This project is about growing plants in a solution environment. It's about controlling such growth and ensuring that you can do that control remotely, or you control and monitor remotely.
Greenhouse farming is known for generating very high crop yield and high quality produce when compared to open air farming. Interests have already been pouring in from both the private and public sector, including the Ministry of Agriculture, about the microcontroller-based automated hydroponic greenhouse system, and the team intends to make this a true demonstration that the technology works.
The next stage is we're going to go to a functional, fully demonstratable functional prototype that anyone in the country can come and look at. You'll see the physical plants growing. You'll get a measure of the yield of the plant. We want to take it as far as it can go. So we want to demonstrate that the technology works.
Ultimately, this automated system is intended to replace the hydroponic technology being used today and make some farming methods less labor-intensive.
We want to engage in projects that are useful, that are nation building, that are solving problems in the nation, not just some on-the-shelf stuff. So hydroponic and sustainable agriculture is a useful, and we add the electronics and the engineering to it, modernize it, and here we have a product.
This level of commitment to nation building justifies the government's unending drive to promote technology as a vehicle to propel new businesses and to improve existing ones.
We have opportunities, and it is these areas that we have identified that we have advantages that we need to exploit, and we are going to do it.
January to March is traditionally dry season. The Meteorological Service has, however, reported that this drought period should be less severe when compared to 2013. Projections are for abnormally wet conditions in the central part of the island, with normal to above normal conditions in the east. However, it is expected that western Jamaica will be abnormally dry over the next 3 months. The government has already implemented measures to cushion the effects. $40 million has been spent so far to repair and improve more than 50 water tanks across the country. In the meantime, the Hermitage Dam is now at 76% of its capacity, while the Mona Dam is around 96% of capacity. Still, you and I should play our part to ensure that there is limited water lockoffs. Check for leaks in and around the home. Conserve water as you wash your car, do the dishes, and take a shower. Let's work together to make this drought period a pleasant and bearable one for all of us.
How well do you know your child? What he or she likes or dislikes? Favorite food or color? How about who their friends are? Make the time. Get to know your child. It helps to build their relationship. Makes it easy to keep them safe, and it helps their development process.
What sound does a long A make?
This
Disagreements and arguments are common features of human interaction. That's why it isn't uncommon to find that conflicts pop up from time to time when parenting a child. But as with the old saying, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Children are impacted when their parents have disputes. However, there are things you can do to limit the impact of conflict on our children.
The first duty, I think, is that the parent should try not to harm the child as collateral damage. Because I think in a lot of situations, the parent doesn't intend to harm the child, but is either so emotionally engaged in the issue at hand, or is so unaware that they may say or do things that are not suitable for the children to be involved in. We have had situations where a parent may have gone to school and made a comment about a child, like you're the worst picnic the Lord ever make. But then the child now gets teased by every other child in their class. They get disrespected by the people there. So I think a lot of times when we're expressing, we're not thinking about the effects. So I think awareness is the first thing I would say to parents. Second thing I'm saying to parents, the world is not really judging you every day for you to pass or fail a test in parenting. Most people empathize with the fact that parenting is a complicated job for which most of us are not equipped. So be gentle on yourself, and by being gentle on yourself, then maybe you would find more space to be more accommodating of the children. It's important to practice what we preach, because we will lose the respect and confidence of our children, because they come to us respectful, and they come to us having confidence in us. But we can lose that by the way we handle situations as well as the way we handle them. Create loving families. Handle stresses by going to professionals to assist. Take issues that the children are not involved in into a space where they don't have to hear and see all of the conduct that's really not appropriate for them.
So parents, try your best to maintain an atmosphere of love and compassion within the home. Even if there are problems, resolve them peacefully. Do not take out your frustration on the children. And whatever the situation, let them know that mommy and daddy will have differences, but both of you will always be there to support them. Remember, children's care and protection are free mission.
What sound does a long A make? A, A, A. What sound does a long A make? A, A, A.
These are the times when I hail Rastafari, knowing that Jah will provide for I said he give it and he take it away, understanding nothing is belonging to me. Earth will provide you with the necessity. We say simplicity is what we use in these days, and Rastafari prophesied there would be wars. Many possessions would be lost. What you live is what you live with. So hold it close, it's the only thing that's yours. Cause every morning I rise, peace to my mind when I'm when his eyes are an eye, Jah be my guide, I reside with the Most High. Even in a drought I don't cry. These are the times when I hail Rastafari, knowing that Jah will provide for us, because we know Jah.
Before we go, we leave you with these words. Change happens when the pain of holding on becomes greater than the fear of letting go. From author Spencer Johnson. Join us tomorrow for another informative and entertaining program. Keep sending those emails. JamaicaMagazine@gis.gov.jm, or send us a tweet at JIS News. Click on jis.gov.jm, where you may find more news stories and features on all the issues featured in today's magazine. Remember, our special 2013 Year in Review continues tomorrow. Tune in for a detailed look at how the government performed in the field of agriculture and fisheries. Until then, walk good. I'm Audrey Williams.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.